Hi, everybody. I'm Lydia Middleton, the Executive Director of ASIS&T, and I'm here today with Crystal Fulton, who is a candidate for the President-elect position with ASIS&T. Hello, Crystal.
Hi, Lydia.
All right, I've got a few questions for you. So we're going to start with, why are you a member of ASIS&T and what keeps you renewing each year?
Well, I first joined ASIS&T as a doctoral student, and it was really important for me to have that community around me. And then as I started out as a new academic, ASIS&T was always there for me, especially as a new academic. I made this decision to move completely out of my comfort zone and to move to Europe, where I reside in Ireland. And so, Europe is a very different place. It's, very, very diverse, loads of different cultures, loads of different ways of doing things, and just so interesting. But it was really different from what I was used to. And so ASIS provided a good sounding board in terms of colleagues, in terms of an organization that I knew I could go to if I needed something. And it was great to have that behind me as I started out.
Fantastic. Okay. What particular skills and experience would you bring to your role on the board?
Well, I've participated in ASIS&T in a few different roles. I mean, quite some time ago, I was the chair of SIG-Use. This year, I am the director of chapter assembly. Last year, I was the chair of the European chapter. And I've also been involved in various committees and awards juries and that sort of thing. So I've had a few different experiences in ASIS&T of different types and flavors of activities. So I feel as if I've gathered some experience around that, so that I know something about how things work. And I also feel that it's given me some skills to think about, in terms of it helps you collaborate with people. It helps you think about how things are done. So I think I bring all of that to the table, and would obviously make use of it as president.
Fabulous. All right. What aspects of the current strategic plan would you be interested in focusing on for your tenure on the board?
So when I was, as I said, I was first in ASIS&T as a doctoral student and then as an early career academic. And then the financial crisis hit a few years later, and that was absolutely devastating. For someone living in Europe, it made it financially impossible to attend all the meetings that I had previously had the luxury of attending, and I couldn't come to ASIS&T. And it was devastating. It was a real kind of black hole in my experience. So I was delighted to come back to ASIS&T and to rejoin and to become involved again, and to really participate as much as I could, and just try to regain that sense of community. And the strategic plan, to me, when I came back, there were people that I used to know when I was initially an ASIS member that I just didn't find there anymore. And I don't exactly know why or where they went, or maybe they did the same thing I did and they just couldn't because the money just prohibited it. But I think that whole section in the strategic plan that looks at membership is really critical. And I think a really interesting part of this is how we go about this. Can we be inclusive? Can we include as many new people as we can find, but can we also think about some of those people that might come back to ASIS&T and bring them back into the fold? They have great experience, great knowledge behind them. They can help new members. It'll give everyone a great foundation to have us all together. And it really will give us presence as a community. And I think it'll make us stronger.
Absolutely. Thanks. All right. And finally, what is not addressed in the current strategic plan that you think would be important for ASIS to consider as it strives to be relevant in the future?
It's an interesting one. I mean, the strategic plan is good, but I do think that we need to think about that piece. I also think that we need to think about how we work in different places in the world and as a global association. And I know we've thought about some of these issues before, but if we could come back to that and really push it forward. I've learned so much when I was the chair of the European chapter and now the director of the chapter assembly. Working with people in different places around the world is a real privilege. It gives you real insight into the way in which people do things, to other associations, to other just ways of looking at everything that we do. We have a place in this, and I think that we need to really stake our claim and be part of it, and to make sure that we, know about what's going on and bring it in. It's the work that we can do with other associations. I know that some of this is starting, but there's a real potential there. So I think the strategic plan could become, I think that whole global piece could become much bigger. And I think that would be a great thing for ASIS for the future. Certainly, like I said, living in Europe, I have this different perspective than I had just living in Canada. So it's an interesting one where we can maybe bring more into the fold and think about what we can do, and really think about more things that we could do as a result.
Fabulous. Well, thank you so much, Crystal. I wish you the best of luck on the election. And
thank you
for taking the time.
Thank you very much, Lydia.